Hello and welcome to the BS Podcast, where we talk the absurd, the ridiculous, and yes, the bullshit. Hi, I'm Dave, and joining me is my fellow connoisseur in bullshit, my partner in bullshit, Mr. Zach. Zach, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. It has been a long time since we've recorded this together. It's been like, what, 3 or 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah, well, you disappeared on everybody, Zach, so I had to do this thing solo, yeah. And then we had the Thanksgiving holiday. I took the week off, so that's my way of scamming out a full week vacation. We have Thursday and Friday closed in the office, so I take those 3 days. And
oh yeah, get a full week.
Yeah, man, I missed you. What's going on? Are you ready? I didn't reveal anything to the audience, so I just said Zach was dealing with an issue. Zach, are you ready to reveal what that?
Oh yeah, so we were on vacation beginning of November. Me and my dad and my uncle, and my cousin, we had a little guys trip. We went down to Myrtle Beach, which everyone told me beforehand, watch out because it is a COVID hotspot. And you know what? It is, because we went down with about a group of 30 guys, and I think every single one of us got tested positive for COVID after that.
Oh my God. So hold on. First of all,
I'm part of the statistics now, Dave. I'm part of those numbers. When you in Maryland, when you get Governor Larry Hogan going on TV talking about all the assholes contracting COVID, I'm part of that number now.
Now,
and my wife, since I gave it to her, so
you are part of a super spreader event.
Yeah, man,
you're the guy that we talk about on the show.
Yeah, exactly. I think my dad was patient zero because he started coughing and feeling sick while we were down there, and we just thought he, had too much to drink or smoke or whatever it was, one or the other, and it was like, oh, he's fine, maybe he's got a little sinus infection, something. And sure enough, I think the Sunday, we left on a Saturday, we came home on a Sunday, and we get a text from my dad that said, oh shit, one of the guys we just went with got tested positive for COVID. And I was like, oh fuck, hopefully I don't got it. Cause at that point I was symptom free. That Sunday night, I ran 102 fever, and I was like, oh fuck, here we go. So Monday I got tested. Sure enough, Wednesday I got the test results back positive.
Oh, that's terrifying. Now, as I understand, you were also taking this trip as a way to avoid any election chaos, right? Because that was the week that you left.
So this trip is a yearly trip. It just happens to be the first week in November. Okay. It just happened to fall on the election day that we were leaving.
So, by the way, now when you were there, you said it was a group of 30.
Yeah.
Did you guys have COVID safety protocols in place? Did you all wear masks? Was there no handshaking?
So that's the thing. Like, we didn't really see these guys. I mean, you saw them on the golf course, but by law, you got to wear a face mask anyway. Once you get started, you're just in your group of foursomes. We didn't at nighttime, normally years past, it was like everyone would meet up at the bar. And, we'd all drink and stuff. That didn't happen this year because of COVID. The bars are, limited, and how many people, So
yeah,
honestly, really, that's what baffles me, because this trip, it was like we would play golf, and then at night, it was like me and the foursome I was with, we would just hang out in the hotel room and play cards, all night. I think my dad was patient zero. I think he's the asshole that gave it to everyone. I think he picked it up somewhere and he gave it to everybody because he was the first one to show symptoms. But I think the weird thing is how this disease, it affects people differently, because it was like I had a fever for 12 days straight with Tylenol. My fever was still getting up into the hundreds with Tylenol for 12 days. Cough, shortness of breath. I mean, I couldn't breathe in without coughing.
Oh, man.
My dad had the same symptoms, but his were a little worse, which makes sense. He's a little bit older than me. I mean, a lot bit older than me.
I'd hope so.
And he gave it to my mom, and she got it. Her symptoms were even worse than him. She actually got hospitalized. She was in the hospital all last week over Thanksgiving holiday.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
She had to spend Thanksgiving in the hospital by herself. She's home now. Luckily, they gave her remdesivir and I think some other steroids and knocked it out of her system.
Oh yeah.
But then my uncle, who's 70, who was down there with us, and him and his son, who's 40, they both tested positive. They showed zero symptoms. They didn't have any symptoms.
Interesting.
That's weird. We all got it from the same place, but it affected us so much differently. So that's what's so weird. And it's like, that's what's so scary about this, where it's regardless of where you think the disease came from, whether you think it's made in a lab or came from a bat or a pangolin or whatever it's called, like it is like you can get sick and it does suck, man. And it's scary how it affects everyone differently.
Well, I mean, even maybe the naysayers that say, it's only just maybe it's like same thing as the flu, or maybe just a little bit worse than the flu. But of course, getting the flu isn't all that pleasant either.
No, it's definitely worse than the flu. I've had the flu before, and if you get it with moderate, my doctor said that my symptoms weren't exactly severe; they were just moderate. They weren't mild, but they were moderate. So, like, I can't imagine having it with severe symptoms.
Moderate.
You know what I mean?
Did you say you had a fever for 12 days?
That's 12 days with Tylenol. That's with Tylenol. So I can't. If I wouldn't have taken Tylenol, it would have been a lot higher. But
now, I don't mean to make light of something, but you told me that when you came back, you also had thrown out your back, right?
I threw out my back the last fucking day of golf too, which sucks because you know what I mean? Because I was doing so good. I mean, I was nailing my driver. I was out driving everybody. I had longest drive that day. And we got to the third hole. It was the last day. And I was like, you know what? I'm really going to try to nail this motherfucker this time. I've been having a good day. I got my swing down. And I don't know what happened, but on my backswing coming back, something popped out of place. And I threw out my back bad. So on top of like having COVID, and having 102-degree fever, it's like I can't walk. I can't move. I can't go in to see my chiropractor because my fever's so high or whatever. So it was just... It was like 2 weeks of like misery, basically.
Because I remember you and I were Skyping each other as we do during the workday and all that. And I had said, I had heard that for with cough that they would advise the patients to roll over on their stomach, and that might help relieve some of the pressure on their chest and all that stuff. And you said, I can't fucking roll over.
I can't. Yeah. I was like, I can't lay on my stomach, man. It's I want to. Eventually that did help though, eventually like after a week, my back started to feel a little bit better. And that did help laying, on my stomach and with the humidifier. I mean, that definitely helped my lungs open up a little bit. So no joke, man.
No, certainly not a joke.
Really
now, let me ask you something else. You guys were doing, for the most part, not really, somewhat social distancing and within small groups and all that. Would you say that, because there's a theory out there that people have been putting out that it doesn't matter, lockdowns, no lockdowns, masks, no masks, this thing is just going to find a way to work its way and infect people, unless you completely isolate yourself and stay home. But if you're going out there and interacting with the world, you're just going to have, a high risk, potentially a high risk of well, I don't know what the level of risk is, but the virus is so nasty, it's going to find a way to work.
That's how it feels, you figure you can't go out almost anywhere without seeing people with masks on, and the numbers are still climbing. So I think this thing is it just feels like it's making its way around regardless of what kind of protocols you take.
Yeah. That's what I was. So you feel that way too. And thankfully, man, that was a hell of an ordeal, man. You went through and you actually braved you braved a number of days working because you had taken your vacation, so you couldn't.
I just took a week off or whatever, and I got back, and I'm like, fuck, man, I can't take another week. I can't take more time off. So, you just got to power through it. I mean, that's the good thing about working from home, though. I can just lay in my bed with my laptop and do what I can.
Yeah, but you ruined it for the rest of us. Now, no one can credibly take a sick day unless you're in the hospital now because you've set the bar now. Well, Zach had COVID and he worked the whole week.
Well, yeah, I'm the first one at the company to get it, so we'll see what happens.
So what? Yeah, but when I get a sore throat or something, when I'm feeling nasty, I still got to show up now.
Well, I mean, if you haven't taken a vacation, the week before, you'll be fine.
All right. Well, you're looking good. You're sounding good. I'm really glad to hear. I was worried about you a little bit because you never know. And although rare, and the younger set like us, it's not very common, but it can get bad. And you've seen it's not a huge number, but some people in their 20s, 30s, they some of them don't survive. It's just a reality.
No, and that's what's scary. I was like, Because especially when you go on that ventilator, I think they say once you get that ventilator, it's like an 80%
dead.
chance of dying, and I think that's what's scary. And I remember I was sitting there with like my, I bought a pulse ox to like watch my blood oxygen level. You know what I mean? And it's like normally it's around 97, 98. And I can remember like one night going to bed and like when my cough was getting really bad and I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like I can remember my pulse ox was like just all day, just constantly going down. And by the time I went to bed at night, it was down to like 92. And I was like, fuck, man. I was like worried about like waking up in the morning and having it be in the 80s or something and being like, I got to go to the hospital. Luckily it never got that bad, but
yeah. And, but I do have one more thing. Now, it seemed to me, based on our conversations that we had, is that you were sort of just left to your own and left to yourself. And you didn't did you receive any kind of treatment, any kind of medication from your doctor?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it's because my age. I feel like, there's so limited resources right now at the hospital. They're only sending you there and giving you medicine if you are like high risk or you are like cannot breathe. Like, I could breathe, but it was difficult.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had doctor's appointments and the best thing he gave me was he was like, I can give you some cough medicine with codeine in it to try to help your cough. And that didn't really work. That didn't do shit, but that was the best they did.
If I was your doctor, I would have prescribed you at least a steroid, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Medicine,
so he told me, I mean, I had my doctor's appointment with him at like the 7-day with symptoms mark. And that's when things were like at the height for me. That's when I had like the worst symptoms, fever, call, all that stuff. Yeah. And he was like, let's give it some time. He was like, he seems like you got moderate symptoms. It doesn't seem as severe that we need to send you to the hospital yet. He was like, hopefully by Sunday, which would have been the 14-day mark, he was like, you'll feel better. If you don't, call me again, then we'll go from there. So luckily by that point, I was, on the mend, feeling better.
Good.
But yeah, it was just kind of like, all right, sit in your house. Hopefully you don't die.
Don't die.
Yeah. It was like, wait to the point where you feel like you're dying to go to the hospital. And by that point, for so many people, it's probably too late. Right.
Yeah. Right. And so, well, thankfully, thank God that you were okay. Now, did you take anything did you load up on vitamins or anything like that?
Yeah, I just took a daily vitamin, which had, D and C, B, and zinc in it. So yeah, didn't feel like it helped. The other weird, I mean, okay, I don't want to keep talking about this, but the other thing is like how inaccurate these COVID tests are. My mom, she had all the symptoms. My dad was positive. We were all positive. There's no way she did not fucking have COVID, right? Yeah. She took a test the day my dad got positive results, came back negative. So she's like, all right, I'll keep my distance. I don't have symptoms yet. I haven't got it yet. About 4 or 5 days later, she started showing symptoms, took another test, came back negative. 2 negative tests in a row. She is full-blown symptoms, have to go to the hospital. The doctor's telling her, well, you took a test that said negative, so no. Eventually, it got so bad she couldn't breathe that they had to call 911 and get her to the hospital.
Oh, my God.
It took 3 tests to get a positive COVID result.
That's unacceptable. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So... And of course they're like, well, it says, negative. So, it's just, you're just got a bad cold or something like that. It's ridiculous, man. It's crazy.
We're really got the high confidence in the medical community here.
Yeah.
Now, this was not, you had been testing yourself sort of not all along, but you'd gotten, I think I remember at least 2 times, previous months of getting tests, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I got tested twice before this summer.
You're just asking for it.
Exactly. Maybe wonder, like, what if I actually had COVID those times? I'm just like 3 times for COVID.
Now, you feel like now that you're out of the woods, you must maybe a bit of that anxiety in the back of your head or whatever of, I'm going to get this thing. Now you're sort of past it and you have the antibodies. So you kind of,
I hope
like
so,
that
man.
Guy I talked about 2 weeks ago that was glad that he got COVID, that state senator.
Yeah. Well, even now, like I know like the doctor, we were talking to my mom on FaceTime or whatever when she was in the hospital. And she said that she was like, well, now we have the antibodies. And the woman was like, well, we're still, she said over the phone, the doctor said, well, we're still not sure 100% that you're 100% immune to this thing yet, so I'm just going to get that vaccine when it comes out and be done with it.
They don't know shit. They don't know anything.
They don't know anything, man.
And then, you take the vaccine and who knows what happens with that. But yeah. Now we could get that within, I think I saw 2 months potentially. So maybe February or something like that. All right, Zach, let's get to our first story. Zach, last week, in anticipation of Black Friday and the problem that you've been dealing with, and then one that I finally got on board with and it really pissed me off, is the PS5 launch, Zach. It's an
fucking
absolute disaster.
It's frustrating, man.
Oh, Christ.
I can never remember video game console sales being this ridiculous and frustrating.
Now, you went through this process a few weeks ago, right?
I went through this process the day it was released. I missed all the pre-sales, of course, and even then I know they were gone immediately.
Yeah.
So, on the day it was released, which was the 12th, I think, there was all these rumors like, okay, well, this place is going to stock them. This place is going to stock them. I couldn't find them anywhere, but the one place that said they were on was Walmart. Walmart was doing them at 4 times a day. They were like, they had this giant inventory and they were splitting them up into 4 times. So it was 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. You had a chance to log on and get a PlayStation 4. 12 p.m. I logged on before 12 p.m. and waited. The second that it said add to cart, I added it to cart. Site crashed. When it was in my cart, and it was, so it was like, great. And then as soon as the site got up again, my cart was empty and it said sold out. And this was like not that long. This might've been like 12:05. So I'm like, all right, I just kind of missed it. Let me try again at 3.
Yep.
3 o'clock. I tried again. And I got, same thing, logged on at 2:55, 3 o'clock, added it to my cart as soon as it was available. I got all the way to adding in my credit card info and shipping address this time. I'm like, I fucking got it. I got it. And then I pressed, the added in everything. I pressed the buy now button. Site crashed, error. 2 minutes later, the site comes back up. My cart's empty and it says sold out. So I'm like, fuck. All right. I got a little bit closer this time. Let me try at 6. Right. So I get on even earlier this time and I just wait. And it was 5:59. As soon as 6 o'clock hit, I mean, there wasn't even a buy now button. It just went from out of stock to try again at 9 p.m.
Oh, Christ.
There wasn't even like a chance to get it that time. And at that point, I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to get it this time. I'm not even going to waste my time sitting on the computer anymore trying to get it.
Yeah, so all the stock was cleared out, and then for a Black Friday sale on Wednesday at 9 p.m., Walmart they announced ahead of time that they were restocking. So my story on this is I've been on the fence about whether or not I want to get the PS5, and you'll probably appreciate this. Is I'm getting clearance from my wife. My wife's the one that's pushing for this, telling me that you need to get one. We need to get one.
Oh yeah.
So. Because I'm like, I don't want to get this thing, and I'm just gonna play it, and then maybe never talk to you again. I'm just playing on the PS5. But so now I've got cover, so I'm like, all right, now I'm excited. I was kind of on the fence. I didn't know if it was a good idea. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not like, well, depending on where you want to get it. So I was there with the same thing. Now we order a lot of stuff online at Walmart, particularly groceries. So we've got the account, we've got the credit card stuff. It's already there, and same thing. Site crashed.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on apparently there's these bots. People write these scripts to go in and bombard and do mass buying. And there's a story here from pocketlint.com called we talked to a PS5 scalper about how they got their consoles. And I thought this was just fascinating. How organized this stuff is. This isn't like, in other words, the BS here is not simply that we can't get our PS5s, right? The BS is that no regular person apparently can get one unless you're extremely lucky. Instead, what you have are these organized groups to go in and basically, I'm going to call it cheat the buying system. These aren't real people. They're grabbing a whole bunch of them. Here's one. It's a community that Jack discovered as many others do after getting into the sneaker market. Many of the bots nabbed Xboxes and PS5s in recent weeks are actually retooled sneaker scripts. So I guess people, big releases of say Air Jordans or something like that. Just like others getting more press, his group had also secured, it's got to be thousands of consoles between pre-order.
Thousands.
And
consoles are already running low. I mean, Sony, there was like an article from Sony where like the CEO was like, we don't have any more consoles. Like we are completely out of them. So, It's ridiculous. I don't know if like technology is just getting to the point where it's so much easier now for like anybody to write a script like this to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like back in the day, even back in like when the last one was released in what 14, probably even before that 2013, something like that. See, you know, even then, we're talking 6-7 years ago. It doesn't seem like everyone had that access to write those kind of scripts, or like the knowledge wasn't out there. But now it's like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I mean, now it's like, the only hopes is to go to eBay if you really are that desperate to pay $1,200 for, you know, a $400 console. But you know, I'll wait.
Screw that. Yeah. And Walmart actually has acknowledged this as well. A spokesman told CBS News, it's not unusual to see bot activity, especially on hot items like the PS5. This is also a problem for the Xbox as well, by the way. Our teams work hard to prevent this and ensure our customers have access to the items. Well, you're not working hard enough.
Yeah. Now, when you got yours, when you tried to get yours, did you have to do any kind of like human tool where you have to, like, I don't know, pick every image that has a sidewalk in it,
like a
right?
captcha thing?
Yeah. Did you have to do anything like that?
We didn't even get that far. We couldn't even add it to the cart.
So we didn't get that far either, right? They don't have anything set up to make sure it's not a bot. And it's probably just because so many people are logging in so quickly.
Yeah.
There's no time to enter in a captcha code or whatever. So, you know, I don't know I have no idea what the solution would be, but it sucks.
One
like
per
fucking Dwight.
And
one of these guys is probably Dwight from The Office when he was buying up all the Princess Unicorn dolls. Like, you know, crazy rate.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking one per customer, but maybe that's not even possible either. I don't know. Maybe what you have to do is, I don't know, is there some sort of a identification verification or something like that?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. But
so yeah, the plan was like I was going to get one because like it's my 30th birthday this year and it's right near Christmas. So I was like, my wife was like, well, I'll get you that for, you know, your birthday / Christmas present. I'm like, perfect. And then that sold out. And now it's like we just bought and so now it's like, well, I'm not getting a PS5, so now we're gonna do. So now we bought a fucking couch. So it's like, you know, like being an adult, you know, I mean, switch the PS5 for a couch. Which I am excited about because it's a comfy couch, but still.
But you do sound a bit bitter, though.
Yeah. I could be sitting on that comfy couch playing PS5, but instead I'm going to be sitting on that couch playing PS4 like a pilgrim.
I mean, you're going to get the PS5 though eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
So this is where we're left with. There's going to be now this guy interesting. Now here's the plan because this guy from the Pocket Lint store. So. He says, because what's been going on is these people like this buy up all the consoles and then put them up, say, on eBay for double or triple the price, or at least I think I would say $1,000 is roughly the market rate now, right?
Yeah, that's what I've seen, $1,200, something like that on eBay. Yeah.
Now this article ends by saying, no, this is from the UK. It says it's a large enough profit. Says sadly though, they call him this guy Jack. Jack's view is that things aren't going to get any cheaper, with more stock waves before Christmas likely to disappear just as quickly as people get closer to the holiday. Demand is going to go up, and Jack is of the view that £1,000 will be the minimum going rate in a couple of days before Christmas itself. Now. This is their plan, which is to basically corner the market and then to scalp, basically, as I would call it. Now, the question I have, and who's going to go out and buy, en masse? Are people actually going to buy these for double the price?
I think so. I think desperate parents trying to buy them for their kids for Christmas. I think that's what's going to be.
Well, you got to have a backbone, don't you? Say, little Johnny here. I know you want the PS5.
Kids are spoiled these days. Dave. It's
Well, I don't want these assholes to win. It's almost like it's becoming like a moral thing for me now. Like,
yeah.
Oh Christ!
They're going to though, man. They got a corner on the market. The demand is high. People will pay it.
Now, maybe another silver lining is sometimes the launches, the early units of a new console launch can have problems as they're maybe working out.
I've already been seeing blog posts of people saying how like they've been having problems with. I've been seeing more on Xbox, but I have seen some of PS5 too.
Could it be that maybe these scalpers are doing everybody a favor by buying up all the
shitty ones? Maybe.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying to find a silver lining here,
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm
our
very
silver
disappointed.
lining.
And as I said, I was more mad the fact that I was resisting buying this thing, and then when I was finally on board,
Yeah.
I got hit by the bots. So
Yeah, and I'm at a weird position where like my PS4 is like so old because it's one of the original ones, and it's like it's on its last limb, and I'm like, man, I'm not going to be buying a PS5 anytime soon. Do I need to like get a PS4, another PS4? I had to do that with PS3. Like my PS3 died, and I couldn't get a PS4, so I ended up buying another PS3. So I'm like, might have to do the same thing again.
my PS3
I
died as
don't
well.
know.
Oh, final question on this: were you aiming for the one with the optical drive or just the digital edition?
I was going for digital.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't bought a disc game in I don't know how long. I always just buy digital games now. And I mean, I've got so many DVDs and like Blu-rays, and I would like love to have the Blu-ray thing of it, but I can't remember the last time I put a DVD or a Blu-ray in my PlayStation or now,
That's
you
the
know.
way. But
All I do is stream anymore. That's it. Or download. So
you'll have to get another hard drive, right, to store all your games. That's if
oh
you.
really?
Well, I don't know. Well, the
So
onboard storage in the PS5 probably isn't enough, so you have to buy external storage.
so it can be but the thing is, so this is what I do with my PS4 with all my digital games. After I'm done playing, I'll delete them off the system. And then just if I want to play it again, I'll just re-download it because it keeps all your save data from the game. It's not like you delete the game from your system and you got to start the whole game over again. You know, if I'm halfway through a game, I'm getting sick of it, I want to play something else, I delete it off my system. If I re-download it, my save data is still there. It just frees up the space. Now, granted, that's a pain in the ass because it can take upwards of hours, you know, to download a game sometimes. But
you know, my other thing was I'm not sure if I want to own many games. I think I'm more of the person where if once I play a game once, I'm kind of done with it. So again, I might want to get like GameFly. Or
oh yeah, so you buy the disc version, then you can sell it back and get something else. Yeah, I used to do that. But I don't play many games anymore. I mean, I'm the opposite. So when I play games, I usually end up replaying them. Like, you know, I think the biggest game this year was The Last of Us 2, which is like a 40+ hour game. I mean, I've already played through that twice this year since it came out. So it's like you play through it once on like easy or medium or default to try to get the story, and then you play it again on the hardest mode to try to like, you know, have a challenge. That's at least what I do.
No, good stuff. I haven't played that one. I basically after my PS3 died, I didn't get a 4. But Last of Us was one of the last games I played, and I love that game. So. Oh, yeah. All right, you ready? Ready to give a rating, Zach?
Yep.
I'm happy to go first, unless you want to.
Oh, you go ahead.
All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, we give these things a BS rating and tally them up and rank them at the end. I'm going. I think possibly my first. Number 10.
Oh, wow.
I think this is high BS. I get moral outrage at these scalpers. Wow. I don't like that, you know, Walmart and Sony can't come up with a solution for someone to get this product. And instead, we're seeing these jackasses grab these things by the 1,000, jack up the price by 2 to 3 times. And then basically that, you know, that's their business, if you want to call it that. High level BS. I know we've had some more serious topics in the past, but this one pisses me off the most. What do you got?
I got 6.
Okay, 6. All right.
6, man. I wish I would have went higher now, but
I was really mad on Wednesday. I got to tell you.
I think it's just because I tried on the day 1, so I'm kind of like over it by this.
You're over it. For me, the wound is still open. All right, Zach, story number 2. This one comes from InformedAmerican.com. Monolith bizarrely appears and disappears in southern Utah desert. Now, this thing made international headlines, Zach. This thing sort of resembling, everyone's reminding him, well, this is like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where the monolith appeared before the monkeys, and he threw the bone, and that represented the next stage in evolution. And then they found it again on the Clavius base on the moon, which told them that they had to go out to Jupiter. So this was maybe some hopes that this was maybe the similar thing, maybe put by aliens or advanced humanoids. What were your initial thoughts when you heard of this monolith suddenly appearing in southern Utah desert?
The whole thing is so strange. And, you know, I mean, it's an interesting installment by some artist. It's not, I don't think it's aliens. It's some artist that just popped it out there just trying to be funny. But I think the reaction from people is what's so crazy. You know, there was this one quote from an article I saw that said, the quote was, "It was a good escape from all the negativity we've experienced in 2020. like a piece of metal on the ground. It's like that's how fucked up 2020 has been, is that we need a piece of metal just sticking up out of the ground for people to get excited.
Yeah, and this is
crazy
this is what the monolith looks like. If you didn't see it,
I mean, it's cool looking, but like I'm not there. I'm not going to make a mass like exodus through the desert to try to go find the thing. You know what I mean? Nuts.
Yeah, this thing was drawing tons of crowds, and as you said, yeah, I mean, are we so desperate for something like the monolith savior from 2020?
Yeah,
here are a couple of pictures from Bureau of Land Management. This thing looks like it's on Mars, doesn't it?
it does. Yeah, it definitely looks like a different planet.
And one of the things they were complaining about was all the people showing up, all the crowds that were there. And actually, I have a video here.
When I first went to this article, I saw BLM Utah, and I thought Black Lives Matter Utah, and I was like, man, they're getting involved in the monolith now.
Look at this. This comes from Inside Edition. Look at that's the base, and then as I said, as quickly as it came, it disappeared.
Yeah, you can see like rivets in it. Like if you look at some of the pictures, you can see like rivets in it. And so like if that was a piece of alien technology, it would not have like human tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And here, it's pretty cool.
It is cool. I mean, but like I'm like not gonna make this giant deal out of it. Like like if you need an excuse to go hiking to go see this piece of metal sticking out of the ground, that just seems like it's getting a little weird.
And one of the funny things is, because they're mad because there's apparently it's federal land, so you can't install anything. It's actually illegal. You install without authorization on public lands, and the site is in a remote area without services for a large number of people who now want to see it. What they had is all these people driving up. They're rolling over the brush. They're rolling over the vegetation. Maybe messing up some.
What vegetation? It's in the middle of the desert.
Well, I guess there's something there. Maybe they want. I don't know. Maybe not.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess they're destroying what little vegetation is there. Yeah. And Earth is like clinging to life in that part of the world, and they're like people are rolling over like what has managed to survive.
Typical human behavior, right?
Yeah.
And even more typical is one of the BLM people are finding out. Yeah, now I'm thinking Black Lives Matter. So that they got all these tire tracks, people rolling over stuff, leaving trash, and taking dumps out in the desert.
Well, I mean that'll just melt away.
Human waste.
That'll just melt away. I think the trash is more weird because there's definitely people showing up with their, they're making their road trip. They're stopping at McDonald's and buying all this food, and then they get there and they're like, oh, we got all this food trash in the car, just throw it out the window. You know what I mean? That's
just throw it out and before they go, I got to take one quick dump and then pull it out. I thought that was pretty funny. Pick up after yourself like a dog, maybe. I don't know, or bury it.
Bring a trash bag with you. Like when we go tailgating for the Ravens games, RIP, we don't just leave our trash. We bring a trash bag with us, put our trash in there, and then, to put it in the garbage when we get home. Right. It's, not hard.
So would you say this is a stupid viral story then? Cause you don't seem to be too impressed.
I'm not. No, I think it's people are getting crazy about it just because it's 2020 and we're stuck in the house and we have nothing better to be excited about. We want. Is this what things are so bad? We want it to be aliens, don't we? Yeah, aliens show up, and it's not even the craziest thing that happened.
Well, the monolith came, and the monolith disappeared, and I think we'll figure out. I mean, it's clearly. You think? Well, not clearly, but you think this was maybe an artist or something like that?
I think it was just an artist. I think it was someone in their house that had these sheets of metal. Sheets of shiny metal, and they're like, let's rivet it together, make this cool little triangle thing, put it in the desert. I don't know. I'm just not impressed by it. I mean, it's it's cool, but I'm not gonna I'm imagining people taking pictures like praying in front of it.
Yeah, yes, I can imagine that too. Praying away the COVID to the monolith or something. All right. So what do you have for a rating on this?
7.
7? Oh, so that's higher than mine. I gave it a 5.
I would have been more impressed if it was like a hand sanitizer dispenser or something like that.
Oh, I'd like to see that too. Oh, by the way, you remind me that as I've said, I'm not good at math, and I think maybe it'd be a good time to apologize for sometimes when I say a score and I write the wrong thing and I tally it wrong. I mean, I'm trying my best here, but I'm just not very good at it. So, everybody know. Cool. We have the video. After the video, when Zach edits the video, and he's like, "Well, Dave, what's this count?" I'm like, I don't know. No, 6 and 6 does not.
This came in third, not fourth.
Yeah. All right, let's hit story number 3. Zach, the airline industry has been struggling, and people are hesitant to get on a plane. As you traveled and you came back sick, basically, and people are wary of doing that thing. But a British Airways stewardess maybe giving people a little bit extra motivation for getting on a plane. Zach, British Airways is investigating reports stewardess is offering sexual services between flights. And this comes from Fox News, and we got, you know what, Zach, we have pictures. This comes from thesun.com. So
wow.
She's posting these on Instagram. I mean, what would you now want to get on a plane, Zach, after looking at these?
Yeah.
Maybe you were hesitant.
Talk about an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So, very risque. Now it says she's also selling her undergarments for $33. You can get some panties, Zach.
Yeah, I want to know how many creeps like on planes like made jokes to her about like joining the Mile High Club or some stupid like Mile High Club. And then one day she just woke up and said, "You know what? Times are tough, and I'm going to charge for this and take advantage of all these creeps that keep messing with me."
Yeah, here's your fantasy. Here, you want some panties? $33. Now for just double, for $66. You can have an encounter.
How's that sound? Low.
That's cheap, right?
It's pretty cheap. Yeah.
I mean, it's 33 for the panties, and then only another 33 for the whole.
You might as well pay the extra money at that point.
Yeah, unless they're magical panties. I don't know. Now what? She was defended by some of her coworkers, saying, "Well, times have been tough," and she's, I applaud her for finding a side hustle. Do you agree with that?
I wouldn't say applaud. I would say I don't really care, I guess. You know what I mean? She's doing this on her own volition. It's not like she's forced into the, I guarantee it's not the first time a stewardess has had sex in an airplane bathroom with one of the people riding the plane.
I would imagine that's not the last.
So I don't know. It's not like she's it's not like this big secret organization with pimps that are, hijacking women and like forcing them into the sex trade or something like that.
She's she's her own sole proprietor.
Yeah. That's why I said, you know what? I guess I'm just at a flat. I just don't care.
She has a blog here where she advertises her services. Says, if you ever want adult entertainment on board, all you have to do is give me a sum of money and you'll be treated to a whole different experience of your choice. So, she also has a picture here. Nothing better than getting drunk with my pilot so he can do whatever he wants to me. Cheers. So she's very, very free spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, maybe for those like me who don't like to fly, they have a fear of flying, this could be some extra motivation.
Yeah, that's the flight you need to go on, Dave. You go on the flight and she asks you, you're like, "Oh my God, are all flights like this?"
Oh, good stuff. That's all I had on this as we're, your COVID story, Zach, really ate into the show, but I think it was worthwhile.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready to give this thing a rating if you're done with this.
Yeah.
All right. This is silly and funny, but I think fairly low level. I give it a 4.
I got a 4 as well.
Okay, excellent. 4 + 4 = 8. I've got that. All right, Zach, story number 4. This one comes from InformedAmerican.com. New Mexico governor issues order that closes some essential businesses, including grocery stores. Zach says the rule here, as we're seeing lockdowns again all over the country. By the way, what's it like in Maryland? Are you guys locked down again?
So lockdown Larry, as we've called him, Governor Larry Hogan, has another presser tonight at 4. So we're thinking he's going to even lock things down even more. Numbers continue to go up. The latest was he didn't really close down much. It was kind of like an after 10 p.m. type curfew type deal where, restaurants and bars have to close after 10 p.m. That was kind of like the biggest thing, but, it didn't really affect people that much. But I think numbers are still going up in our state, I think. So he's going to, I feel like he's going to roll some things back again.
Good. I hope so. Now, my governor, Ron DeSantis here in Florida, and I believe Governor Abbott in Texas have both said that we're not doing lockdowns again. So I don't know. I think restaurants, I think we're at 75%. That's where we've been for like 4 months. And it seems like we're just going to stay right here.
I think Maryland's at 50%, and not just for restaurants and bars, but for all indoor kind of spaces. Gatherings are limited to 10 people indoors, but churches 50%, restaurants, bars 50%. You can't actually sit at the bar. You have to be sitting at a table, that kind of stuff. But
what's with this curfew stuff? That seems really dumb to me. I mean,
I don't understand it either. I mean, why can't you just do like no one at the bar or table? Like COVID doesn't stop because it's 10 p.m. That doesn't make sense to me. I guess they're thinking that, 10 p.m. kind of, if you're cut off at 10 p.m., there's less chance of you being out, getting all fucked up and then just not caring. Right. You know what I mean? But
I guess so.
I just don't, I don't understand
Does the virus spread less at 9:59?
Yeah. COVID's sitting there like waiting at the front door of the bar, waiting for, 10 o'clock.
Oh man, but you got nothing to worry about now. You're safe. You can go out.
Who the hell knows, Dave? I don't know if I'm safe or not.
You'll be texting me in a week saying I'm getting another test.
Yeah.
So back to the story in New Mexico. The governor has said a public health order from the governor's office shut down more than 25 essential businesses Monday, with 4 or more rapid responses of COVID-19 cases reported within a 14-day period. The order requires businesses to close for 2 weeks. That's right. Any business that reports 4 or more positive COVID-19 tests in a 2-week period must be shut down for 2 weeks, essential business or not. This sounds extreme to me.
It does sound extreme.
Particularly when, that's not really a lot of cases in that period. And then you got to shut the whole thing down. I mean, what if they all have to shut down?
Yeah, exactly. What if every grocery store in a 20-mile radius of where you live shuts down? That doesn't make sense. There are some businesses that just can't afford to close for, like, if it's a basic necessity that you need as a human right. It doesn't. How can that, like, is the government going to bring food to your front door and give you food? No, absolutely not. You know what I mean? I mean, if all the grocery stores shut down where the governor lives, he'll be fine. The local government will bring him whatever he needs.
Oh, of course.
Like for the everyday man or woman, like you'll be fucked. What are the people in that area supposed to do? Just magically start a farm in their backyard and then grow crops and have a cattle farm or a pig farm? And is that what they expect? And if so, they'll probably end up getting fined by the government for doing that for some stupid reason.
Unauthorized,
unauthorized livestock or something like that.
And it's a good point you made too, because we've been seeing seemingly these come out at least once a week of some local official, violating their own orders or own. You're a member of the government, and either it's your order or you're just a member of a county seat or something like that, and you're out there partying or I think it was Gavin Newsom.
How many stories have we seen about Lori Lightfoot or Nancy Pelosi or salons are closed, and then you get images, leaked footage of them getting their hair done at a salon.
Oh, it's endless. The hypocrisy is endless.
It's endless
because they know it's ridiculous, because otherwise, if it was reasonable, then they wouldn't be violating them. And then here we are. I think this has got 2 Walmarts closed and Albertson. They are actually, it's not just theoretical. I mean,
and it sucks because, like, I mean, this is how hoarding mentality starts, right? This is why people start buying up all the damn toilet paper. You know what I mean? This is why you can't find meat anywhere, because people freak out that they're not going to have access to this stuff. And you keep telling people, like I know in our area when it was going down, you keep getting pissed off because you keep saying they're never going to close down grocery stores. We need it. But apparently that's not the case, and they're going to do it. And, they have done it in New Mexico.
Yeah, unreal. 25 in all total, 25 grocery stores. And as I said, even, not so, like, if, Walmart the entire Walmart shuts down, which maybe
it's not like you can order online because the stores are closed. Like you said earlier in the show that you do a lot of groceries from Walmart.
Yeah.
If your Walmart shuts down, you can't get groceries because that's all local. They can't deliver. They can't send you meat from a Walmart facility, in headquarters or whatever, right?
Particularly with the convenience of being able to do, which essentially contactless, which is we do online grocery pickup, and that's about as safe as it gets. If you're concerned about going into a store, and then done. So I think this is excessive. This is ridiculous. I think it's counterproductive. And Christ, at minimum, Americans, we demand to have be able to go into a grocery.
Yeah, I mean, there's some businesses that makes sense. Like, if I don't know, fucking laser tag place, has 4 or something like that, or whatever. Like that makes sense. You don't need to go to play laser tag. You don't need to go to Best Buy or whatever. But like, you need to have access to food and water. It just doesn't make sense.
No, I agree. And
I'd be like saying that okay, this is like saying COVID is in the air, so we need to shut down oxygen. You can't breathe, right? Breathing is outlawed because COVID's in the air,
Turning off the air.
Yeah, we're turning off the air on the planet Earth.
It's crap. High level BS. I had nothing else on this, but it is concerning that these restrictions seem to be getting worse, and I don't know. We don't have a handle on any of it. And now I guess this is officially the second wave, and we're seeing more stupidity from governments. This is excessive. I agree 100%. What do you got for this on rating?
I got a level 9.
9. Okay, I have an 8. So high level BS here. Really nonsensical. And you're gonna, at some point, final word on this for me is you're gonna just see. I mean, if you have to shut down whatever, but we're gonna start seeing people just aren't gonna accept this for over a period of time.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what you do if you got the sheriff to come in to shut down a Walmart, but I don't know. I don't know how much longer people are gonna stand for this. And then when these governors are up for re-election, I'd be curious to see what the voters do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Zach, let's hit our final story. Kicker Sarah Fuller, a woman, broke the glass ceiling by playing at the level of the Power 5 conference to participate in that game as a place kicker. And she won, Zach, the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week. It's a big moment for equality and for women, really showing that they can hang with the men, right?
Yeah, and she had a hell of a kick too, man. That was a great kick too.
So now Vanderbilt lost the game 41-0. And I believe her only action was this kick.
So real quick, they lost by more than the Broncos lost to the Saints without a single quarterback, right? I think the score from that game was like 30-something to 3.
I think the guy that they had play, he was a wide receiver, right? I think
a practice squad wide receiver, not even a starting wide receiver. He was a practice squad wide receiver. He said, "Hey, have you ever threw the football before?" And he said, "Yeah." And they said, "Okay."
When I was 5, 1 completion, I believe.
They tried to get a coach. I don't know if you saw that story. They tried to get the NFL. They put in a petition to the NFL to try to get one of their coaches to start at quarterback.
Oh yeah, so I'm assuming he was.
And the NFL was like, no, we can't do that. So they were like, I think they just went to everyone on their team and said, who the hell is comfortable with playing quarterback for this game? And the guy was like, it was me. They were like, all right, you got the job.
In Pee-wee.
Yeah, you got the job, buddy.
And by the way, football, and we were talking about COVID now. Yeah, because Denver had all 4 quarterbacks had to sit out. And then the Steelers-Ravens game, you're a Ravens guy. That one's been postponed. I think they're actually playing today now they're playing on Wednesday now, right?
Tomorrow at Wednesday at 3:40 p.m.
What kind of a
they were supposed to play on Thanksgiving, got pushed back to Sunday, got pushed back to Tuesday, and then pushed back to Wednesday.
Now, does that pushing that to Wednesday now mean Lamar Jackson can play?
I have no idea.
I think it does. So I call it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. Everyone's bitching at the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens make that call. I think the NFL makes that call.
Yeah, certainly.
And I think that because people were bitching about like why are the Ravens postponed when Denver had to play with 4 with no quarterback. And I think the ruling has something to do with it's like their COVID problems are limited to one position.
Right.
Where the Ravens, it's an outbreak. It's across multiple positions, coaches and players, So they said that the Ravens is considered an outbreak, where the Denver situation is like limited to one position. But
yeah, because basically, because every position, the players in that position meet in meeting rooms and stuff throughout the week. So in Denver, one of the quarterbacks had it, which meant that he was in contact with the 3 other quarterbacks on the team, and they all had to. I don't even know that any of the other ones tested positive. They just had to sit out because of a potential contact, tracing. Right? Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's get to this great kick, Zach. This is the kick that earned Sarah Fuller SEC Special Teams Player of the Week. Now, this was her, by the way, I think this was the only thing she did all game, because they didn't score any points.
Yep.
And she came in the second half. She didn't attempt a field goal. So this was her one shining moment. And
was it an onside kick?
Nope, that was just that was just a kickoff. Now Vanderbilt's been devastated by COVID as well, and they were short. She's a soccer player, like Vanderbilt, so she laced up, and I mean this is a bad kick, Zach.
It was a bad kick, Granted, she's not a football player; she's a soccer player. She's not actually trained to do this, so it was she did the best that she could, and I think the whole player of the week. I don't know how you feel about it, but the whole thing is purely ceremonial. It's special. It's not even like all of college player of the week. It's special teams player of the week. I mean, special teams 1 week. I mean, the whole thing is purely, ceremonial. I honestly, I don't really see the problem in just giving her the award for just the whole accomplishment of what she's doing and being the first female woman to play, in a Power 5 game. It's a milestone in sports history. It's not like they're giving her the Heisman.
No.
Right. It's just it's kind of like a ceremonial award that really doesn't, mean anything in the greater scheme of things. It's not like there's some great kicker somewhere that's like waiting on getting this award to try to propel his college career and get in the NFL,
Now, okay. So fair points there. Now for me, the thing I like about sports, and I think most people like about sports, is that it's entirely. Now these are special circumstances, but you succeed or fail entirely on your own. It's merit. There's no one keeps a bad player on a team, right? They're cut. And so I like that. And I think what we're doing here, this is a bit patronizing. It's like, patting the little girl on the head. Look at you. You did so great. Here's your trophy. It'd be one. Now, if she came out and boomed a kickoff, I'd be like, hell yeah. But honestly, I think I could have kicked that ball off better.
All right. Well, we're going to line you up then and have you do it and see if you can.
I think almost anyone could kick that ball. You can kick a football. Now here, 30 yards. You can kick a football off a tee 30 yards, can't you, Zach?
I don't know. I've never kicked a football off a tee.
You could. I think you can even drop.
You think I could? I don't know, man. I could drop kick it 30 yards, but
because you only need to get it to get 30 yards. Tumbling around on artificial turf. You really just gotta.
Yeah, I played offensive line. I never touched the football. I never touched.
They knew better.
No, yeah, and I mean, I get what you're saying. It can be. I can see why people would say it would be patronizing. I've never heard a woman say that. I've never heard a woman athlete say it's patronizing to do this. I didn't hear Sarah Fuller say it's patronizing to do this. So I think part of, the bullshit for me comes from the way the pettiness that this article is written. This guy just all pissed off who's the sports writer sitting there saying how much bullshit it is. She gets the article. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's one award. It's one tiny award that's giving. That's just ceremony. It doesn't mean anything. It's purely ceremonial.
Yeah, I mean, so
you know what I mean. It's not like if she's like the permanent kicker for this team, and she does this every game with a little 30-yard bobble kick. That's whatever. And she gets the Heisman Trophy, and that I think then we're going into a little different territory here. But like. I just don't understand, like, reading this article, like, why do you care so much? Like, what is the big fucking deal?
This is from the Daily Caller. It's quite it's from David Hookstead. It's quite funny. He's not happy about this.
He is not happy, man. He is like loves sitting in his like little office or wherever in mom's basement, wherever he's writing from, talking about how much pissed off he is. A woman kicked a field goal and got an award for it.
So
it's not that big of a deal, man. Just chill out.
You and I are in agreement that so she wasn't awarded the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week for merit. It was just more the fact that
it was ceremonial. I mean, and
now this is actually kind of funny, because at some I'm just going to read this because it is funny, even if he is a man baby in his mommy's basement. At some point, we have to admit we're honestly insulting female athletes by pretending what Fuller did was spectacular. There are some unreal female athletes out there, and nobody talks about them. Yet Fuller kicks the ball 30 yards, and she's shuddered straight to the Hall of Fame.
She's not headed straight to the Hall of Fame.
No, she's not.
The
crazy, but I did like this. The craziest part about this situation is that Fuller addressed the team at halftime and criticized their attitude. Imagine your kicker was being used for nothing more than a PR stunt, getting up and ripping the team. Players should have refused to take the field for Derek Mason, who was fired Sunday in the second half. I guess she went up there and ripped the team for their bad attitude. That was quite bold.
I also think that was a little what he said about her halftime speech. I don't think what she said was that bad. She's just trying to talk about cheering her team on, regardless of what they, feel. I mean, it's when you're losing by that much, it can be hard to keep cheering for your team. And the less your team believes in yourself, the harder it is to keep playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I get what she's saying, just try to, keep cheering on your team, regardless of if you're getting the shit kicked out of you. But, and she kicks one field goal. Like, of course she's going to try to cheer her team on or kicked one kickoff. Like, of course she's going to, what else is she going to do? Just stand around and not do anything?
Yeah. Inspirational pep talks from your.
Yeah. I guess the way I've been with this whole show, I feel like this is the third time I've said this. I just don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's great that she's the first woman to play in a Power 5 game. If they want to give her the Special Teams Player of the Week, I don't care. Where if they're giving her the Heisman, then we got a different conversation here.
So you don't think she's headed to the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay.
She's a soccer player. You know what I mean? She's not making a career out of football. It's just this crazy thing that happened for the first time in history. And,
stepping in for COVID and all that. Now, again, last thing for me, if there's a female kicker that's just as good as a man, then she deserves to play.
Yeah. When I was in high school, our kicking coach was actually, a female. Which was cool.
Was she a soccer player or?
She was the woman's soccer coach, but she would come to football practices and work with the kickers to try to teach them how to kick the right way and kick better.
Yeah. Makes sense. That's great. Well, so good for Sarah Fuller. Keep see what happens. Maybe she can improve her technique or something, and we'll see what happens in the next game.
Yeah, she can learn how to kick a football. It's a little bit different than kicking a soccer ball. So
you know what's gonna happen? She's gonna play next Sunday, and she's gonna nail a 50-yard field goal, and then I'll have to eat my words.
And then they'll give her a Heisman.
And that's okay. Just go right to the NFL.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I had on this. If you're ready for me to give a rating.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna give this thing a 6. Now you said you didn't care, so I assume it's gonna be under that.
Oh yeah, I got it to 2.
2. Okay, so that 6 plus 2 equals 8. That is actually tied for our for 5th place. So we got to break the tie here between Vanderbilt kicker and the Mile High stewardess. I'm leaning towards the kicker as 5 and stewardess 4. What do you think?
I'm happy with that.
Okay, because the stewardess took pictures.
Yeah.
And, just leave it at that. And then following number 3 is the Utah Monolith. Number 2, much to my chagrin, is the PS5 nonsense. I gave that thing a 10. You gave it just a 6. And our bullshittiest story is the New Mexico new COVID lockdown rules, which have closed 25 grocery stores. Totally stupid.
I mean, I know you're pissed off about PS4, but what's more bullshit? You not being able to get a PS4 or you not being able to go to the grocery store to get your basic necessities?
Good point.
Think about it that way.
Good point. So that one edges it actually by 1 point. Yes, I can still live without my PS5, but I can only go a few days without food. So yes, good point. Good point.
That is one big pile of shit.
All right, Zach. Well, it was great having you back. Although for 3 times, you said 3 times you didn't care. So, I'd like to maybe I think I need to give you a Sarah Fuller pep talk.
I know. If it doesn't personally affect me, I just really don't care. that's like my motto.
Well, because I can
do whatever you want as long as it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, I agree on that. But it was great seeing that you're recovered and for you to share your personal story with everybody here. So I much appreciate that. Now, we want everybody here that's watching on Facebook to hit the like button, share this video with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, we would be honored if you would subscribe to this channel to get more content like this and also hit the thumbs up button. And then, Zach, what can they do after doing those favors for us? Where can they go to get more similar stories like this, Zach?
Exactly. We do so much more than video, and you can go to informedamerican.com for all of your news, politics, current events, breaking news, everything like that. And then you can go to wallstreetwirenews.com for everything finance and economy related.
Great. For Zach, I am Dave, and I've had enough of this BS.
You've been listening to the BS Podcast with Dave and Zach, part of the Informed American Radio Network. Please like and subscribe today in order to get fresh new weekly episodes. Please send us your BS stories to info@informedamerican.com. The world is hard enough, and now we got to deal with this balls.